Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. Today I am painting from Aenor Miniatures. I hope I'm saying that right. Now, it's a French company and it's one of my favourite sculptors. They have done work for Reaper Miniatures, Mantic Games. They've produced the miniatures for the Mantic Games Dungeon Saga, which is one of my favourite actual dungeon crawler games from Mantic Games. So all the miniatures that are produced by Aenor Miniatures are just top quality. There's a link below in my sponsors. You'll find their website, but all you need to do is go www.aenorminiatures.com and you'll find his website. I know. Ty, that's I knew I was saying it wrong. Okay. Oh no, I've got the hot sweats now. Damn it. Okay, this is the giant that we're painting today. Let me get some focus and show you all. This is a conversion. It did have a little axe in his hand. I'm doing this for Renegade Shank. He'll be joining us later. He's in work. So what I've done, I found a stick when I was taking my dog Bonnie for a walk, and I've replaced the axe with a little stick, so it looks like it's an old man walking. So what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to start putting some paint on this miniature. But I've got lots of the miniatures. I'm not actually going to say the company's name now. I've actually got lots of miniatures from the company. And while the paint's drying, I'll show you the different miniatures. For example, we got all the giants that I've painted up. So I'll show you them while the paint's drying. God, Ty's in trouble later. I'm telling you now. Oh dear. Hi James. Oh, I didn't say hello to everybody. Let me quickly say hello to who's in chat. We got my Scorpio, we got Michelle, Ty the naughty guy, Gareth the Star Wars man, Goblin Squire. Hi Hamish. Muses Touches in the house. Rod's in the house. Hello Rod. James again. And I'm sorry if I've missed anybody out. and Chiro has just joined as well. And Mokai. Hello Mokai. Okay, let me quickly go through the paints today. We got some fair skin. I'm using MSP paints, of course. Fair skin. And we got some fair highlight for our highlights. Let me just get the focus back. I'm in and out of focus all the time, and you know it drives me crazy. But if I leave the focus on to automatic, it will be zooming in over there or over there, and we won't find anything. So we've got some lovely skin colours. We've got some dragon white, dragon black. We've got my wood stain brown, which is my favourite brown. We have some clotted red and some shield brown. Flesh wash for today is from Army Painter. Now, this flesh wash from Army Painter is my preferred, and I think is the best flesh wash on the market today, and that's my opinion. So just take that with a pinch of salt, but it is absolutely beautiful stuff, and that's the Army Painter flesh wash. Absolutely fantastic. On the back of this miniature, and we'll zoom in again so we can actually see what we're doing. That's about right. On the back, in his back pocket, he's got a couple of bottles in there. He's got some little beer bottles and things. So a little bit of maybe a little blue wash to give a little glass effect for these little bottles. But let's get some paint on the palette and get started, or is the hour will be over. I'm trying to stop myself from laughing because of Ty, but here we go. Honest to God. And that is my little warthog, you can hear, my paint mixer. So I'm just going to start, I'm starting with the skin first because it's the lightest colour. And then if I do make any mistakes later on, because I'm using a darker colour, it's going over the lighter colour, so it's not an issue. Now we don't need a fair highlight first. All we need to do is we get that skin on first. So the first point of call is getting the skin on. Let's get some focus again. I think that's about right. A little bit more maybe. There we nope, that's not right. Come on, there you go. So what we're trying to do is just get some all the skin onto the miniature, going because it's in the deepest recesses. So if we get the skin on first, this will be fantastic. And then as we move up the miniature, we're moving out higher and higher, and it's just a really fast quick paint then, and it's awesome. So we're going to keep the beard white and the white eyebrows because Renegade Shank wants this giant to look like an old man. So what we're going to be doing is just leaving the eyebrows will be white, and of course the beard. And this will be a good show. I don't know if Nath is in the house. Nath was asking me what's the best colours for using, or the ink wash for using for white. He's painting some knights at the minute. So I want to show him this pale grey ink wash that I'm using. Oh, there he is. Hi, Nath. I want to show Nath the pale grey ink wash I'm using today, so he can get an idea of how awesome it works with white to give that shading effect. So we'll just quickly get the skin tones on, get on the ears, and just work around the eyes, and just there at the lip. Absolutely beautiful sculpts from Aenor Miniatures. I do hope I am saying that right. Oh dear. But it's like I say, it's a French company, and I have been friends with them for a very, very long time. And they, like I say, they've done work for Mantic Games. They've done Reaper Miniatures, of course. So a very, very highly respected sculptor, and a good friend as well. And of course, it's nice to have companies from Europe. At the moment, it's like UK and the USA. I do love the small companies, and if I can support them in any way I can, I possibly can, I will. Especially when they do miniatures as good as this. I mean, absolutely top notch. Now, they do their miniatures in resin, but they also do their miniatures in metal as well. Not the giants, but the 25mm or 28mm miniatures they'll do in metal as well. And I'll be showing you those miniatures when we are waiting for our ink washes and parts of this miniature to dry. And it won't take long to paint because it's a nice big miniature, simple colour scheme, which works really well. We're looking for an old, ragged, dirty colour scheme, so you can't really go wrong painting a giant. The main thing is just getting that skin tone looking just right, and that's easy enough. All we do is we paint the skin tone on, talk normal, and then we go over with our flesh wash. We let the flesh wash dry, and then we can highlight the flesh tones with a lighter flesh tone, and it's a super simple job, but it ends up looking awesome for what we want. Okay, so nearly there for the skin. Now the Aenor Miniatures have done quite a few Kickstarters as well. They haven't got one on at the moment. I don't know if they're going to have one in the near future, but it's well worth checking out the website and their miniatures. Also, another thing that's fantastic is they're still old school sculptors, meaning that they don't use 3D software to make their miniatures on. They're all hand sculpted, old school way, you know, with the green stuff miniatures, and then they're cast. Most companies nowadays, everything is actually designed and sculpted, as I call it, sculpted on a PC. So having the actual old school, what I call the Bobby Jackson originals, or you know, they prefer to actually sculpt the miniatures rather than have them on the PC and do them on the PC. But that's, again, that's my own personal opinion. I know lots of old school will be the same. Hello, Geek Curio. How are you? Nice to see you in chat. It's been a while. Oh, here he is. Here's Renegade Shank. Hello, Casper Kenobi. Casper Kenobi, I have included... Casper Kenobi, I've included a Dwarven Forge miniature in your parcel. It's a surprise miniature, so it's in your parcel, which will be posted beginning of July. So you're gonna have to just wait and see what it is. Okay, so that's about our flesh on. Quite simple, and already it looks fab just having that flesh on, doesn't it? Not a problem, sir. Not a problem, sir. Right then, let me just get some tissue. I asked Claire to add some kitchen towel, to the shopping, because I always use the kitchen towel to do my dry brushing on. So she gets me one with hearts and little cupcakes on. You know. Like, yeah. That's the biker image is way out the window. Okay, let me get the rest of the colours on this bad boy, and then I can show you all the awesome miniatures that I've already painted by Aenor Miniatures. Plus I've got quite a few of the metal ones to show you as well as. Okay. Now this is Clotted Red by MSP. I'm not sure if they still make Clotted Red anymore. What I'm finding is a lot of my favourite colours are starting to leave the website. I don't know if they're relabeling them or not. I need to try and watch more of the Discord, or not Discord, the Twitch shows of Reaper Miniatures, or Discord as well, I suppose. But it's the Twitch streams that they normally have the painting for the different paints, and I always miss the streams because the ones I want to watch from Reaper are normally halfway through the night. Being in the UK, it can be a bit of a toughie. Okay, now for the clothes on this bad boy, what we're going to do here is we're going to have the vest in red and all the rest will be in brown. So what we're going to do, because the red is at the back, again we're moving to the second layer, which is closer to the front of the mini. So now we're going to paint all the red parts. So we'll just get all the red in there. Now the reason I do this is because if you start from the back of your mini and work forward, it's a lot easier than trying to get your paintbrush into the back of the mini when you've already painted the front of the mini. It's common sense, really. So this way you can make a mistake going forward, but if you make a mistake going backwards, it's a lot more difficult to fix. So there's method in the Goblin King's madness. So as you can see, now we're going down, and of course that's painted behind his beard now, and of course the shirt is coming out here, so we'll just paint these parts. Now I'm trying to keep all the colours very dark. This makes it a lot easier to do your highlighting, because all you're doing for the highlighting is adding lighter colours of the original colour you've added to your miniature. So by doing dark first, light will give you a much better highlight. Now this is just me again, because I'm doing a tabletop standard quality of painting. it makes it easier for me to paint the miniature, and it looks fab when it's done. It's the same when you paint NPC characters, it's like tavern characters or village characters. You want to get the grimiest colours possible. You're trying to get an authentic look, an old school look, and again it's very, very good to go online, go on Google and just, you know, type in medieval, and it gives you a fantastic idea of the old types of clothes. Sorry, I'm not looking at the screen there. So just by googling all the different things, you can get a more realistic example of how to paint the clothes. And if you look back into those times, all the clothes were just browns, very, very dark reds. They didn't really have dyes and washes for their clothes back in the old days, so it's all dark, grimy colours. So I try to keep all my miniatures in that style to make them a little bit more realistic. Okay, so that's the red on that one. Let's go and use my favourite brown. This is the wood stain brown. Is that my dad? I got but let me just apologise to my dad while he's here on stream. I was supposed to go and visit him on Friday on my Harley, and it wasn't until Sunday yesterday. I think it was Sunday yesterday. I said to Scorpio, I said, I've forgotten to go and see my dad on Friday. What a numpty. So I apologise, Dad. I apologise, Dad. I shall see you this Friday, I promise. I've been very, very busy. Bad son. I was so embarrassed because on Sunday I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I've forgotten. It's like 2 days late. And he ate my muffins. Oh. If anybody is in chat and they don't know, my dad makes absolutely gorgeous blueberry muffins, and every time I go to see him, he'll make me either blueberry muffins or he'll make me some chocolate chip muffins. Absolute star. Beautiful muffins. Can everybody see this okay? Is the focus alright, or am I wobbling it too much? Just tell me in chat if you can't see, and I'll try and sort things out. And I do apologise, it's just I'm laughing and giggling here. Focus is good, thank you, Goblin Squire. Thank you, Hamish. Goblin Squire, Hamish. It's awesome to see you in here, Goblin Squire. It would be even nicer if you came round for a coffee. Got him real roasted coffee beans, and he still doesn't come over to see me. Thank you, Long Stripy Scarf. I wonder if Long Stripy Scarf knits scarves, or is a Doctor Who fan. Maybe he's a Doctor Who fan. Thought so. Tom Baker is my favourite. Can't beat Tom Baker. I painted some Doctor Who miniatures. I don't know if you've seen those ones. Long Stripy Scarf. I did them for Dawn Rocker. She's an absolutely huge fan as well. I also did Reaper Miniatures do a little TARDIS, the old police box. I did a diorama with the police box from Doctor Who as well, the old blue. See, I've just gone over a tiny bit of the skin there, so I'll go back over that later and fix that one. That's not a problem. This is also a thing with the painting as well. If you do make mistakes like I do all the time, it's normal. But with painting, you just go over your mistakes. And that's the beauty of painting. You can fix your mistakes. It's when you leave them and it puts you off. So that's the biggest key of painting, is making sure you just keep on, persevere doing the painting, and sometimes a mistake can actually work out good, and it can actually improve a miniature. It can make you learn new ways how to not paint your miniature. Okay, what I'm going to do now is we've got some nice dark brown there, some red on, we've got his flesh tones on. All we need to do is his little cut now, his little biker vest. And I think his biker vest, we shall go for the shield brown for the biker vest, which is a bit lighter brown. Thank you for following, Starius99. Okay, so once I get this brown on, I will show you some of the actual miniatures I've already painted, and some that is these are all available to buy in the shop and the web store he's got. All sorts of beautiful miniatures. Let me just quickly get the paint on this one. Oops, using the wrong brush. Brushes I'm using today, by the way, the Green Stuff World Synthetics. We got a number 1 and we got a 0 brush. For dry brushing, I've just got the old large dry brush from Army Painter. Now, as you know, I have kind of been converted to these Green Stuff World brushes. I normally use my Army Painter, and Army Painter are still absolutely fantastic. But for the price, these are my winning combo now, because they're $14.99 for 5 brushes. And that's £5 cheaper than it cost me for my Army Painter brushes, and they are working a treat. So definitely worth having. Thank you for subscribing, Crypt Monkey Studios. I was just going to show Dawn her Eye of the Beholder, but it's actually in my display cabinet at the minute, so I can't show you, sorry. So we'll just quickly get this vest done, and we'll let it dry. Then we'll get some ink washes onto the flesh tones, and we'll get some ink washes onto the jacket and the trousers, let them dry, and then we can just plow on and quickly finish off the miniature. It's a very simple paint. And the highlighting is easy peasy, because all the brown has a brown ink wash, and then we're going back over the brown once that ink wash is dried, and we go over with a lighter brown of the original colour that we've applied to these colours, to the miniature, sorry. And that's all you need to do, and you get a nice awesome tabletop quality miniature. So I just go around. And get it on there. Now the ink wash is, I'll be doing my special way of adding the ink wash and then removing the ink wash, which saves you also a lot of time. And of course it gives you instant highlighting without actually adding a second highlight. So you normally do 2 or 3 different highlights when you do a miniature, but by removing the ink wash you're actually producing a highlight without actually painting a highlight on your miniature. So not only are you saving money on paint, you're actually saving time painting your miniatures. So we've got roughly the main coats on there. I just want to make sure I haven't missed any, because I'll get complaints from Michelle. She keeps me in line. Just go around there. And there. Okay. There we are. A little bit more here, and that's roughly all the main blocking in of colours done, as they called. Blocking in of colours, that's a term given in miniature painting. If you don't know, I will explain. Blocking in of colours is when you paint all the areas of the miniature with your first coat of paint. And it's normally blocking in, makes sense. You've blocked in that colour there, blocked in that one, this one, this one, this one. It's just a term that they use, blocking in of colours. I'm just going to add a little bit of dark brown to this wood here as well. I've actually just mixed a little bit together on the palette there. I've got half brown, half of my shield brown and half of my wood stain brown, and I'm just mixing it to make an in-between colour, and this is just going down straight for that piece of wood. And that wood will be dry brushed with a lighter brown as well later on. Okay, so we'll get that there. Now while this paint is drying, I think my skin has dried, so we can add the ink wash to that skin, and then I'll show you the pre-painted, then I'll show you the miniatures I've already painted of the miniatures from this awesome company. So, ink wash, flesh wash. This is the flesh wash from Army Painter, 110% recommended. It gives you all the goodness you need for your skin tones. So make sure with the ink wash, even though when you use an ink wash, you can hear it whooshing around and whirling around in there. Ink wash is very, very bad for the pigments going to the bottom and sticking. Even though it sounds like it's all runny and running around, you still need to give it a really good whizzy whizzy woo. Did I just say whizzy whizzy woo? A whizzy whizzy woo. Yeah, I did, didn't I? We're giving it a whizzy whizzy woo. How hard do I sound? Okay, yeah. Okay, so flesh wash. Get that onto your little palette. You don't need a lot. Now, as you all know, I use my little Shrek earbud things. I keep on asking what they're called. The little things of poking earwax out of your ears. Q-tips, I think they are. So what we do with these are for removing the ink wash. Again, we just use a medium-sized brush. We can actually use our #1 brush. And we just add that ink wash around the face and the arms. And all we do is very simple. Let's see if I can get you into focus. Just add it nice and thick. Let it go into all the recesses of the miniature, like so. and we do it in stages because we don't want that ink to dry too fast. One piece at a time, and we just add it all over, and then I take this out of my mouth. We go over the highest areas of our cotton bud and we remove the excess ink. This gives us instant highlights on all the areas that we want done. It's just a fantastic way of doing things, and already you've got all that. It looks awesome already. That the arm looks. You've got all the tones there, and it's just amazing just by removing that ink wash. Once that's dry, then you can add a little bit more highlight, and you are good to go. And we'll do the same with the toesies and the knee. So we get some in there. Just let the ink wash go in. Just be careful about pooling. I've explained to you before about pooling. Pooling is what ruins the miniature. Ink wash is not just a case of splashing that ink wash all over. You've got to control that ink. The ink will go into all the recesses everywhere on the miniature. It will pull in places, and when it pulls, it leaves a horrible dark mess of ink. So what we do is you just keep an eye on that ink wash, keep an eye on pooling, build up of the paint, should I say, maybe that'll be a better wording. And by using these Q-tips, you can just remove the excess and give a highlight where needed, like on the top of the feet there. Just removing some of that ink wash from the top, keeping the dark areas with that ink wash aside. Keep some of the ink wash at the bottom of the feet because that's where the dirty area is, and that'll work just fab. Thank you, Rod. And again on the other feet. So we just get the ink wash on, nice and simple. Get your little Q-tip, remove the excess ink wash on the top of the feet and the little toesy woesies, like so, and the back on the heels there. So what we're doing is we're keeping the ink wash to a minimum. We're just letting the ink wash go into the in between the toes, the bottom of the feet, and it just gives a nice lovely effect. So we move on to the other arm now, so we can repeat the process. We're just going over all the arm, a little bit missed there, there we are. Go over all the arm. Well, it doesn't matter if we go over that little bit of rope there, we can paint over that later, and let the ink wash go in between the fingers of your miniature. Just let all the ink wash do all the work for you. Thank you for subscribing, Crypt Monkey Dawn. Okay, and once again we go back to the skin and we remove the ink wash on the highest areas. We take away the ink wash build up in the gaps where it's actually starting to pull, and a little bit more there. Just stuff the ink wash into my mouth, and that tastes delicious. Yum. Ink wash cookies. On the highest area of the hand, we just remove a bit of ink wash there, and on the knuckles. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be adding a highlight to this miniature using my fair highlight when this is all dry. But as you can see, we've already got to a stage where the miniature is absolutely, it's looking fab as it is just by adding this ink wash. So if you're a beginner, ink wash is your friend. It is absolutely fantastic. Right, we'll just go on to the head of the old man. Now we'll be a bit more careful on the top here. We'll just add the ink wash and slowly go round. We don't want to overload the brush with ink on this one because I'm trying to keep it off the white areas. So we go into the ear, fill up that ear with the old ink wash. That gives a nice dark to the back of the ear. Go around the nose and the eye. Go over the cheeks. Just let that ink wash fill up the areas, and just on the bottom lip there, a little tiny bit, boom, done. Okay, now I'm just going to start removing the ink wash again, and of course, like I've told you before about highlighting your miniatures, we want the top of the head will be the shiniest point. being a bald myself, I know where the sun shines. And it's on the top of your head, so you know, you just take the top ink wash off the top, and on the top of the nose, and a tiny bit of the top of the cheeks, and you are set. So we just leave that dry like so, and that's awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, and we'll come back to that. But I want to show you some of the miniatures from Aenor Miniatures that I've already painted. I think you'll be very impressed by the quality of the miniatures. Not so much my painting, but at least the miniatures are awesome. Okay, let's get some focus. We'll start with the smaller miniatures. Now, I have painted all these for Renegade Shank as well in the past. We both got sets. I got sets from the same company, and we was absolutely loving it. Let me get a closer focus. Now, what I found with this company is, like I say, they are old school miniatures with an old school styling goblins. So we've got goblins and trolls here. So I'll give you a quick little 360s of the actual miniatures. And these are all metal. You can get them in resin, but resin is a little bit more expensive, and it's quite strange to me that resin is more expensive when I actually prefer metal miniatures. Metal is me all over. I need metal miniatures in my life. So that's that one. But they really are beautiful miniatures. And like I say, you can get all these from his website. So if you want to pop over there and have a look, he is not expensive. These miniatures are not expensive. And like I say, it's a French company. It's really nice to have companies in the EU, and a small business company. I hope Shank isn't watching this while he's driving. It's quite scary, isn't it? Sorry, Mike, I lost connection while I was driving. Like, oh, okay. I'm just going to give you quick 360s here. Like I say, they did a lot of miniatures for Reaper Miniatures as well. Definitely one of my favourite sculptors. Show you a few more. This one's a really nice one. But it's definitely got that old school feel to these miniatures. Again, simple paints. But they do the job, and they look fab. These work for dungeons and all your games. I mean, you can have them for Dungeons and Dragons, you could use them for Pathfinder, you could use them for Dungeon Saga, you could use them for all your games. And I say the 28mm scale, but also I think they're a little bit heroic scale. So we're talking 25 plus 3, we're talking 32. Like, is it 32mm? Yeah, heroic scale is 28, 32mm. sorry, it's just Shank with his 32-inch monitor while driving. He's a nutter. Okay, I'll show you a couple more of these ones, and then I'll show you the giants, and we can get back to our painting. An hour show is not very long with the Goblin King. But you definitely get a huge selection. These were all from his Kickstarter. I think it was Trolls and Goblins was one of the ones. And let me show you the bigger. These are the ogres and trolls. These are the trolls. Sorry. There we go. These are resin. I've also got all the. Look, he's got his bum hanging out on that one. So yeah. Oh, I can't handle this stream tonight, honestly. It's the heat wave. It's a heat wave. It's 10 degrees in here. Oh, I tell you, I feel so sorry for all those people abroad at the minute with that heat wave. That is some scary stuff out there. Really, really scary stuff. The climate change is terrible. I mean, we haven't had snow. We haven't had snow in years here. Proper snow in Scotland. Thanks, Rod. It is awesome, eh? So these are the type of miniatures you can expect from Aenor Miniatures. Absolutely beautiful. Now let me quickly show you some of. I got some of the extra giants here. These are still in their baggies. I just want to give you an example of how they come. Now, with these miniatures, they also come in multiple parts. Meaning you get options, optional heads, optional weapons. So what you can do is you can actually buy one of these miniatures, a bit like some of the other companies do, but you can have different poses, different weapons, and I just think it just makes it really, really nice when you have these different options to collect all the. So what you got? You have your body. This is from his last Kickstarter. I backed his last Kickstarter. I can't speak again. I backed his last Kickstarter, and I bought every single giant he made because they were absolutely beautiful. So you get all these absolutely gorgeous resin, and you get different heads, so you can swap out the heads. Absolutely beautiful. Let me show you one more. This is the one I did for Shank. This is this one here, and as you the one I'm painting today. But as you can see, that was the axe. That was the axe inside. That was the axe that actually came with the miniature, and I swapped out that axe for that old man walking stick. And again, this one came with two different heads as well. So you got the old man type head and the ugly one. And let me show you one more. Yes, magnets. Now I'm waiting on Gareth. Now I don't know if Gareth is still in chat. He might have gone now, but I'm waiting on Gareth to make a little video on how he does his magnets for miniatures, a YouTube video or anything like that. And then I'm going to have a go at doing the magnets myself, because I've not gone down the magnet road myself. And yet I've got loads of hundreds of miniatures that I could be having interchangeable heads, interchangeable lightsabers. So it is something I want to get into, but time is not on my side most of the time. So you got this one here, and again you've got all these absolutely beautiful heads. The sculpts are just phenomenal, absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So each giant comes with two different heads, two different sets of weapons or hands. So you've got lots of choices, which is much better for your money. Oh, there's Gareth. Yes, Gareth's got a Twitch channel, and he's doing a YouTube channel where hopefully he'll start doing some more tutorial videos on his magnets. So I'll look forward to that. He's also an awesome Star Wars painter too. Don't, Shank. Okay, let's get back to our giant, shall we? Because that was good fun. Now, I would show you a bit more, but I'm not going to have time now. But I've got all these metal miniatures in here too. These are all the metal miniatures from Aenor. So what I'll probably do is I'll make another little YouTube video showing you all the metal goodness that I've got. But yeah, absolutely love the miniatures from this company. Okay, let's move on. See what time we got. Yeah, we've only got 15 minutes left. Wow. Get some focus back. There you go. Hello, old man. Young man. Okay, I wanted to show Naif the Grey. Now, this is Pale Grey ink wash by Vallejo. And if you paint white, if you're painting wizards, a prime example is your Gandalf and Shadowfax. If you're painting those type of miniatures, if you want to get the ultimate shadows really quick and really easily on white, then Pale Grey by Vallejo is what you need, because it's just a wash, but it's a pale grey, and I'll show you on the beard now. And it just is perfect. It gives you the perfect shadows you need for white. So let me get a really close up of this one so I can show Naif and everybody else a little closey. There we go. I think that's okay. And again, we'll go back to our number 1 brush, and all we do, I've just got, this is Dragon White, by the way, over the beard. I'm just going to add the grey ink wash. It might not show up too well on the camera, so I'll just, but what happens is all this grey ink wash, like I say, it's a very pale ink wash. It's going into all the recesses of that beard, and it's bringing out all the details. Every single detail of the beard is now coming out strong white. Unfortunately, it's not really showing up well on my camera setup there. I get reflections from white, so we'll keep on going. I'll do the eyelashes as well. So we just go over the eyes there, the back of the hair. And we just work that grey into all the hair. You can see I've missed a bit of flesh tone as well there. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see it closer and get some focus. There we are. And as you can see, and I do apologise for the rubbishy picture, but as you can see, now I've added that pale grey ink wash to all the areas of the beard. It's gone into the recesses of the beard, and it's given it an absolutely fantastic effect. Now again, we can use our Q-tip, and we can remove a little bit of that ink wash just on the tips. Just by going down with the Q-tip, we're removing the edges right on the ends of each of the hairs of the beard, so they just come up a little bit brighter. Top of the old eyebrows there, that's just a little bit light there. And that ink wash just works perfectly well. And again, now we've got a fantastic looking beard, and that's taken us what, a few seconds to put the paint on. So that's how simple it is to make a fantastic looking beard. All you need is that pale grey ink wash. Once that's dry, of course, you can put on a tiny little dry brush of white around the edges of the beard, and that'll just bring it out a bit more definition in the beard. But to me, that looks absolutely fab. Easy peasy. And of course, if you're working on knights, if you're doing like Nath does. Nath loves his old school knights. If you're using white robes and stuff, in the recesses of the robes, you just add that ink wash, and then on the white areas of the robes, just take away that grey ink wash, like I showed you, that cotton buds, and then that'll leave all that very light grey in the shadows, in the recesses of your clothes on your knights, and you'll get a beautiful effect. And there's a little rag there which is white, so we can actually add a little bit more. I can actually kind of show you on that one. So there's a little white rag there, so we just add that grey, let the ink go into all the recesses, and then all we do, we go back with our cotton bud, take away the excess, leaving the highest areas free of the grey, and we've got that lovely shadow now. I don't know if you can see it too well. We've got the shadow going inside the pocket there of that little tissue that's hanging out of this pocket, but it's got a nice, it's not a very dark shadow, and because we're using white, we want to keep that shadow as light as possible, but we need something to show where the shadow is, and by using a very light grey, you're getting that effect that's very desirable. There we are, easy weasy, easy peasy. Okay, let's do some highlighting on the let's see what time we are first. Oh, we've got 9 minutes. Okay, let's do some highlighting on the red and the brown, just to finish off. So again, going back to our clotted red, I'll add a bit more clotted red. I actually got some still on my palette, so that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dragon white on my palette and just give that a little mix, so we can just quickly do some highlights. Hey Dad, that's you. That's you in another 10 years. Well, it actually looks a bit like me now, actually. No muffins for me next week. Okay, it was using the number 1 brush, because it's a large miniature. We don't need to go super detailed with our brushes. Self-portrait, yeah. If only I was that skinny. Okay, for the highlighting, we are going back with our red. We're just adding a tiny little bit of white. Now remember, I did say we're adding ink washes to our miniature, so I'm just getting a lighter red, and all we're going to do is go over little areas really fast, like so. It's just a hint of highlight. It just picks out the highest ruffles. Thank you for following. Awesome stuff. And again on this side, we've just got a lighter. All I've done, I've used the original red. And I'm just added a tiny bit of white to it and going to the highest areas of each ruffle on his under jacket or undergarment. Again on the bottom there and around the edges here, and that's just ultimate easy peasy lemon squeezy. There we are. So we got two-tone red, and that's ready for the ink wash. We'll do the same now with the darker brown. Again, we'll go back to the colours we had before, and what I'm going to be using is, let me find my colours. We got that shield brown and we got that wood stain brown. Now I used the wood stain brown for the bottom of the trousers, so again we're going back to that wood stain brown, adding a little hint of the old shield brown, because we don't want it too light, but we want it just enough that we can add a little highlight around the ruffles and the bits and bobs of the giant. the bits and bobs of the giant. And we just go around the bum, and the highest areas we're just going to add a little bit more. Ruffles again, ruffle, 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 over the ruffles, ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. There we are. Very, very simple. You're just trying to get those highest areas, leaving the dark recesses with the dark areas, and little highlights like on the back of the shin there, just tiny bit of brown, and we're done. And for here, again, I'm going for a 50-50 mix, and we're just going to do the patches. And patches are very simple. We'll just go over the patches of the different brown, like so. So all the patches are just quickly painted over. And all we need to do now is we'll add a brown ink wash to the red, and we will use a dark brown for the bottom of the trousers, a light brown ink wash for the top, and we shall use a light brown as well actually for the red one, and then we'll remove the ink wash like I showed you earlier. I like truffles. Of course you do, Dad. Okay, that's about all I got for tonight. That is about all I've got for tonight. This is about as far as I can get before our time runs out. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and I hope you've all maybe had a laugh and learned a tiny bit. If you can just take away a tiny little part of the show and you've learnt something, then it's made it worth me doing what I do. So there we are. I shall be back on Thursday, and I will be back on Thursday, and I'll be back to do my WizKids miniatures. Thank you, Renegade Shank. That's so kind of you. I'll be back doing my WizKids miniatures. So have a beautiful week. You take care, everybody, and loads of love to every single one of you, and I shall see you soon.